Hey guys, it's Glenn. I wanted to make this video because I'm kind of freaking out a little. Tomorrow morning, I am going to be returning to Bogota, Colombia for the first time since I was born. If you watched my first video on my Ancestry, I took an Ancestry.com test. I found out where my ethnic makeup came from. Sort of got surprised by a lot of it, although a lot of you thought that I shouldn't be surprised. When I found out I was 25% British, I mean, apparently it's pretty common that British people colonized Colombia. I personally wasn't aware of that, but I guess maybe I should have been. Thank you, though, I want to say, for teaching me the correct pronunciation of my birth name. I was saying David Beltran, but apparently it is David Beltran. So, and I did the little R roll, David Beltran. So that is my birth name. Thank you for teaching me the pronunciation of that because I was pronouncing it the American way. My name now, though, is Glenn Payne, which is the name that my family who adopted me from Colombia gave to me many years ago. So I'm super excited, scared, a little nervous to return to my country. As I said, I haven't been back there since I was born. I was raised in New York by an amazing family who adopted myself and my sister in the 80s from Colombia and gave us an amazing life. But I feel like I've always sort of wondered what my heritage was and what I guess not what could have been, because I did have an amazing life, but just sort of what my culture is and what the culture of Colombia is and what it's like to live there, and potentially, I guess, what could have been if I wasn't given this amazing opportunity at this chance of life living in New York with my family. My mother and I'm actually at my parents' house right now in Florida. My mother and I had a discussion last night about what it was like when she first got to hold me in her arms and bring me back to America, and how amazing and touching and heartwarming and what an incredibly emotional experience it was for her to not only finally have a baby, but to also give this child a chance at life, whereas a lot of children in Colombia don't get that chance. She showed me a pamphlet for the agency that she adopted me from. It's called Fauna, and it stands for the Foundation for the Adoption of Abandoned Children. So I was one of these abandoned children. My mother was very young. I knew that about her, and she didn't have the means to bring me up. So I was born in the orphanage and then found my family a few months after I was born. But a lot of the children aren't ever adopted, and they stay there to this day. There's about 15,000 children that have gone through Fauna. About 10,000 of them have found homes, and the other 5,000 are still there, and they need to be cared for, and they need to be raised, and they need to be fed, and they need to be sheltered, and they need beds and education. And I'm gonna go there when I'm in Colombia and make a donation, because if I can help them in some way, I would love to. I mean, if you want to give as well, I mean, you can go to their website. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. I'm going to go visit there, and I'm super excited to, I guess, see where I was born, because I've never known. I think the one thing my mother is a little afraid of is that when I go to visit the orphanage, there's going to be all these cute little Colombian kids running around, and I'm going to want to bring one home back to America. She's like, please do not come home with a Colombian child. You can't even take care of a dog. I don't even have a dog. I don't even have a plant. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a plant. I don't have a dog. I'm not going to bring home a Colombian child. Don't worry. You know, another thing I want to thank you guys for is teaching me that I could find other DNA matches on Ancestry who had also taken the test, because I didn't know that. You guys were asking me, have you found anyone else who took the test? Have you found anyone else? And I was like, no, I don't know anybody with my DNA. And then you guys said, well, you can check on Ancestry. And I actually went to the section on Ancestry to find out if anybody with my DNA profile also took the test. And I found a fourth cousin in Cartagena. Well, I think she's in Cartagena. Her name is Cartagena Gal or something. But that's freaky to me. That's a little too close. I'm not gonna like reach out to her or anything. A fourth cousin for me is like, I can't even like think of who that would be for me today in my life, but it feels a little removed, and I don't really know that I'm ready to unearth that. Maybe this trip will spark something in me and I can look at that a little later on down the line, but definitely not now. One of the other things that I always thought of when I thought of Colombia was this. This is a tapestry that my mother brought home when she adopted me. She also brought one home when she adopted my sister. And I hear these are pretty typical in Colombia, like you can just kind of get them anywhere. But this is something that was hanging in my room, or it's been hanging in my room, some way, shape, form, or another, my entire life. And it's the oldest thing I have. And it depicts a scene of Colombia, and growing up, this was the only real depiction I had of the country I was born in. And I used to look at this and be like, wow, my country is so fun and neat and colorful, and look at these people, and look at her hair, and look at her dress, and blue hair. Like, I was like, whoa. This is the way I thought my country was. Oh, and you can also see that they have these little sticks where they're like fighting, and they're shovel, and they were like little pitchforks. As a kid, I used to take them out, and I used to like chew on them or throw them away or break them. So this is the last one that's left. But anyway, this for so many years was the only depiction I had of Colombia, and this is sort of the way I thought growing up the country looked like, and I always wanted to go there because of this. And to think that I'm going there tomorrow is really exhilarating, and I'm excited. I'm sure it's not going to look like this tapestry, but I'm sure it's going to be colorful and fun and full of lots of characters, and maybe even some people that look like me. I don't know. So I'm super excited. I'm super anxious. I just really want to get there already. I'm filled with excitement to see Colombia finally, and I'm just going through all these expectations of my emotions, of how I'm going to feel, but I'm sure I'm not going to know how I feel until I really get off the plane and see the culture. So it feels like a really big, important adventure. So I thank you for watching, and come along with me. Let's do this thing together. See you later.